How you going, RPG fans? I hope you had a Merry Christmas. Unfortunately, I had to spend nearly all of mine bedridden. I had to miss Christmas dinner with the family yesterday because it's just that sick. In order to keep my spirits up, I thought I'd upload my final pickups video for 2010. Getting straight into it, the first game that I bought is Gone Sun Dark Dawn. I've already done a video on this, you should check it out. Really wonderful game. If you see it, buy it without hesitation. The next game is quite cool. I really do enjoy it. It is a part of the Shin Megami Tensei series. Now, this came out at the start of the year and I didn't have any time or money to invest into it, but during my journeys I came across it this month. I'm really glad that I snagged it because you can't buy this in Australia. There was no release here. It's only available through import, and that is Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey. If you really like the old school Shin Megami Tensei games on the Super Nintendo, you'll love this one to death. It's made in the same vein. It's first person, and they've really taken all the best qualities of this series and put it into this game. Like all other Shin Megami Tensei games, you have the demon summoning program. You go out into the field, you confront demons, you either fight them or negotiate with them to join your side. You can fuse with them to create a new entirely different powerful demon, and you just have to optimize what's the best group for you. What I really like about this game is, depending if you choose your party to be a certain alignment and you hit an enemy's weak point, they'll actually all pounce on him. This was inspired by the Persona 3 and Persona 4 system, and it works wonders in Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey. But what I love about this game is the story and the atmosphere, because you're a part of an expedition to the Antarctic that's investigating this void that's taken place, and inside the void is the realm of the demons, and basically if the void covers the world, it will destroy it. And so they're sent there to investigate and see if they can stop it. But then when they get into there, it comes a case of trying to either escape or to figure out the mystery. And if you're one of those few that really like those horror movies where a group goes into the beyond and nasty stuff happens, you're going to love the story of this game. The soundtrack is wonderful. It really adds to the dangerous and brooding atmosphere. So definitely pick it up. I really recommend this to anyone who's been playing a lot of typical normal JRPGs and wants something completely different in terms of atmosphere. Then definitely get Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey. Another game from Atlas, and this wins my award for the best bargain of 2010, and that is Etrian Odyssey. I got this for $15 where the registered retail price is $70, so that's way more than half price. I'm glad I did. It's really good when you get a game for quite considerably cheap, but it's great, even better when you get a great game for cheap. And Etrian Odyssey is a wonderful game. It's quite hard. The battle system itself is very, very simple, but the enemies are quite difficult. It comes to a situation where you have to grind in order to survive, and you also have to forage and mine and search for materials to create new weapons and armor, and you have to spend some time doing that too. And also by selling materials you get money as well, so that's your source of income. But what's really challenging about this game is there's these creatures called FOEs, or just foes, and they pretty much come into the game on the second floor, and if you run into them they can kill you without hesitation. And what's even worse is if you kill one and you leave it for a couple of days, they respawn. So you have to figure out ways to pretty much, if you want to take them on, then by all means take them on, but it does take up your time. There is a time system in this game where it has 24 hours, and it does go by quite considerably, so each day you have to basically take into consideration what you want to do. If you want to get to the bottom floor, you need to avoid foes at all costs and make sure that your party members are up to the health where they can take on anything can be thrown at you. But I like it about the game. I haven't played a challenging game like this in a while, so after I play Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey, I'm gonna give this another go. Quite quickly, I got Cocoon 2. This crosses off another game on my PAL PS2 list. Haven't played it yet. When I pull out my PS2, I'll give it a go. Next one, I got this close to half price for about $47, and that is Resonance of Fate for the PS3. What can I say? It's from Tri-Ace, and like most Tri-Ace games, it has a cryptic battle system, but this one, I gotta admit, when I played the first battle, it was a huge WTF that came up in my mind. The battle system, I haven't registered with it yet. I've only played it for about an hour. I think I'll have to look at outside sources to explain what the battle system entails, because it is it's not difficult to comprehend, but I just don't understand some of the little bits and pieces. I encountered the first battle and I nearly died, and that's very uncommon for me to die on the first battle of a game, so that should give you an indication of how hard it is. I've heard a lot of people say that if you thought Final Fantasy 13 was cryptic, then you ain't seen nothing till you play Resonance of Fate. So that's kind of turned me off a bit, but I will give this time sooner or later. One thing I do like about this game is I love the atmosphere. It's set in a structure that represents the Tower of Babel, and it's very steampunk, deteriorating world, a steampunk setting. Very, very cool. There is no swords, they all wield guns, which is really cool if you like wild arms and all that, so definitely give this a go, but I can't recommend it highly unless you love challenging games, and by all means get it, you'll probably love it. Speaking of Tri-Ace, the final two games I got is for their most well-known series, and when I went to get Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey, I found this. Now, if you've already seen my video where I list all the games that I've got to get in PAL, I said that this one was probably the most rarest to get, and that is Star Ocean to the End of Time. I also said that I did own it at one stage, and I did finish it, and I was very happy that I finished it, but I must admit in the last 10 hours of the game I was losing my hair quite considerably, figuratively speaking. But when I beat the final boss, it was a sigh of relief because the game was quite difficult. But looking back on it, I did enjoy the game for what it was worth. It was one of the most visually appealing of the games on the PS2. The music is done by Moto Sakuraba, who does a wonderful job. This game's on 2 discs, so it's I think the only other one that was on PS2 with 2 discs was Xenosaga Episode 2. They had to, because the graphic system and all the content is massive. I think this game took me for about 70 hours to beat. When I look back at it, I kind of did enjoy my time with Star Ocean till the end of time. I don't think I'll play it anytime soon, but I'm very glad it's in my collection. And speaking of Star Ocean, that same day that I picked up To the End of Time, I got PS3 copy of The Last Hope International. And I said I really want to find this for cheap, and I finally found it for cheap, nearly close to half price at JB Hi-Fi. And if you live in Australia, you should know JB Hi-Fi has some wonderful, wonderful deals. That's where I also found Entry and Odyssey for $15. They're not just a game store, they're a huge electronics store, but they have some really good bargains on their games. Definitely check them out, you never know what you could find. I popped this in for about 5 hours and I really, really enjoy it. The battle system is awesome. Okay, the one thing I like about Star Ocean is the one game from Tri-Ace where the battle system is manageable. Still hard as balls, but give you some leeway if you're willing to grind and basically create new items and everything just to give you that little edge. Graphics wise, I reckon it's one of the most visually appealing RPGs of the HD era. Since that's only 5 hours in, I can't really say much of the story. The characters are alright. They haven't really grabbed me in the way other RPGs do, but I don't mind them. pretty much I could say try and find this for cheap. I couldn't see myself buying this for full price. Not yet. It has made an impression on me, but not a lasting one, I've got to say. I definitely will give this another go after I've beaten Etrian Odyssey and Strange Journey. So they are my final games that I have bought for 2010. Now, come January, I'm actually going to take a break from normal RPG hunting around my area because I want to invest some time into importing some games that I really want. Falcom's having their huge sale to celebrate their 30th year, and I want to pick up a couple of games. I also want to pick up some games from Sega that they've released over the last quarter of this year, like the new Yakuza game on PSP, and I'm going to have a pre-order for Valkyria Chronicles 3 because it comes with some awesome stuff, and I'm also going to get a accessory pack that comes with Valkyria Chronicles 3, including a very nice PSP case that resembles sort of a, I'm not saying if it's a gun holster, but it looks quite cool, and I'm definitely going to pick that up. So there won't be any normal pickups vid next month I should say, or next year. It's just going to be all the imports that I got. So next week I will be doing 2 more vids. One of them is going to be a rant on Square's decision to re-release Final Fantasy IV, which I'm actually quite happy about. It's not a angry rant, it's a very happy rant. And before the end of the year, I'm going to upload my favorite RPGs of 2010. I hope you can join me. Take it easy.